talk about a subject that you're all interested in, and a subject that has captured the imagination of your planet and everyone on it, who is thinking in a new way, who is rising in perspective, who is rising in vibration. And this is the subject of the law of attraction. The law of attraction is simply you match whatever your vibration is to whatever is a match to your vibration at the time, at the place, when it's perfect for you to have experiences that will give you the opportunity to shift your perspective even higher. Well, you might think that if I'm vibrating at a low level, I'm going to attract things that I do not want, things that are bad, things that are wrong, things that are not working out for me, things I do not prefer. Well, you could look at it that way, but the only way you could see that is from the limited perspective. If you had a high perspective, no matter what was happening, you would know that through the law of attraction, you are getting what you need to get at the perfect time with all the cooperative components, including the people. If you see it as a bad event, well, you're looking at it from the perspective of the victim, meaning you think outside conditions and other people can make you feel something. Well, since you are the creator of your reality, the law of attraction is just showing you your perspective. How much do you think you are the creator of your reality? How much do you believe it? Do you really see how things are working out for you? Do you really see how our events are shaped and molded and orchestrated for your benefit? What is that benefit? Or is it something that you fear, something you think is wrong, something you wish would not happen? Are you perceiving that you could lose something, that you could make a mistake, that other people could do things for you or to you? Well, if you do, you're just shifting your perspective in a way that is corresponding to what's going on outside of you. Most humans are doing this by default. They firmly believe that certain things are wrong or bad. They firmly believe that they need to protect themselves from those things that are wrong or bad. They have to pay attention to the news because if you're not paying attention to the news, how are you going to protect yourself from things that are wrong or bad? They are focusing generally on what they fear, hoping, praying, wishing they can keep those things away. They're not understanding how the system works. And so, because they have limiting beliefs, they are attracting events that point out those limiting beliefs. We call them manifestation events. Manifestation events are gifts from the universe because without them, you could not know where your perspective lies. You could not know what limiting beliefs you're holding on to. You could not know your perspective or even shift that perspective. You're living by default, believing that what you believe is true. We come along and say the law of attraction is coming to you to benefit you, always, to give you what you need, always, to give you the opportunity to see things in a new way, to shift your perspective. You can shift it or not shift it. Now, those of your community, your friends, your family, those people who are living as victims will interpret through the events and conditions and people that their limiting beliefs are true because the event shows them they're true. I don't want this thing bad to happen to me. It happened to me. Therefore, my belief about this bad thing is true, or this belief about myself is true. And therefore, their limiting beliefs grow stronger and stronger and stronger. The only reason the event happened in the first place was just to point out the limiting belief so that they could do something about it. They could prove to themselves that belief was simply not true. That belief was simply not serving them. That belief was the cause of the negative emotion. Without that belief, they could not feel negative emotion. They could not perceive the thing as wrong or bad. So, what would you like to do? Would you like to control all the conditions, or would you like to take a look at your beliefs? If you thought that your beliefs were true, then you would correspond those beliefs to what was happening, and you would live your life in that limited perspective without any possibility of change or growth or expansion in what you would call a positive manner. However, if you realize that none of your beliefs are true, that nothing you were taught in school was accurate, that what you think about yourself is a limited version of this magnificent being that you are. And if none of these events are true, or none of these beliefs are true, then the events that point out the ones that are the least true, the most limiting, are the ones that are likely to come quickest, fastest, and easiest. First, they'll start off subtly. You'll attract a thought. The law of attraction brings you a thought that causes you to feel negative emotion. You judge something or think it's wrong or bad or wish it was different. Oh, you're looking at it from a perspective of the victim. From the perspective of the creator, you could never think it was wrong or bad. You would not judge it. Therefore, in this instance, with this tiny little thought, you get the gift of understanding a belief system that's inaccurate. If you don't pay attention to that, that's okay. The law of attraction will bring you maybe another thought, maybe an interaction, maybe a little tiny event that doesn't cause too much duress. But if you ignore those and continue on holding on to those beliefs that do not serve you, well, the law of attraction will bring you another event. Maybe this time, what you would consider a larger event, more obvious. Doesn't that make sense? If you're not paying attention to the thoughts or the minor events, if you're holding on to limiting beliefs, well, in order to get your attention, wouldn't it make sense that you would be thrust into an experience that would get your attention? And if it got your attention, then you could see it, do something about it, prove to yourself that it's not true by finding evidence in your life or the lives of others that proves that belief is not true. But if you prove that belief is not true, you can no longer protect yourself, because now you must recognize that if a bad thing happens, it's based in the belief, not what it is. It is not bad because what? There is no bad or wrong anywhere in this universe. Everything is right. We would go so far to say everything is perfect. Now imagine holding on to that perspective. Everything is perfect. So if this event happens, then it must be perfect. Can I control the event? Can I change the event? Can I wish it away? Can I do something like act on an urge to control it or change it or separate myself from it or the people involved? Well, you can try, but because you're holding on to that belief, the law of attraction will bring you more experiences to show you that limiting belief. Now, if you listen to us for a little while, and if you want to feel better, which is why all of you are here, then there's only one thing to do, is to recognize the events pointing out a limiting belief. You didn't do anything wrong. Nothing bad is happening. You've been given a gift of an experience orchestrated by the universe, by your guides and supporters, by your inner self, by source itself, to put you in a context where you can suddenly see this limiting belief that is not serving you. Why is it not serving you? Well, you're all limitless beings, whether you're on this call now or listening at a later date, or anyone on earth. If you're a human, you're a limitless being. You can't remember it. It doesn't feel that way. You've thrust yourself into an environment of perceived limitation, but that is an illusion. To get to understand your power is to move towards a state of limitlessness, freedom, abundance. Being, having, and doing everything you truly want, moving on your journey of self-discovery, connecting to your inner self, connecting to your friends and family, connecting to your entire reality. More connection, more connection, more connection, more connection. What limits you from this unimaginable life? A slew of limiting beliefs. Do you blame others for giving you these limiting beliefs? No, they served you. You wanted to come in. You wanted to adopt a bunch of limiting beliefs. You wanted to create a trajectory that would move you towards feeling better. You wanted to find this information, and you wanted to realize that the only thing that's holding you back from everything you truly want, from this unimaginable life, is a set of beliefs that's not true, a mental construct that's not true, a perspective that's simply limited. As you process limiting beliefs, as you analyze them and find evidence to prove they're false, you slowly whittle away these beliefs. You make them less powerful in your life. You stop giving them power. The average human who doesn't understand this is giving more and more and more power to their limiting beliefs as they have more experiences or as they grow older. And you might find them retreating away from their life, living smaller and smaller and smaller lives. Well, that's not really the unimaginable life that you signed up for. You want to lean in. You want to do the work. You want to push past your fear. You want to face those fears. You want to process limiting beliefs. You want to endeavor to discover who you truly are. You are not the person you think you are. You are so much more, and you want to discover that version of you, the non-physical version of you. The non-physical version of you is ready, willing, and able to flow through you as long as you can see yourself from a high enough perspective. To get there, you'll have to whittle away your limiting beliefs. You'll have to understand those beliefs are simply not true, and you do not want to carry them or give them any more energy. You want to focus on your life from a perspective which you are learning that you are the creator and that things are happening for you. There's no wrong in this universe. You've never made a mistake. You've never made a wrong choice or decision or taken an inappropriate action ever. You've always abided by your perspective. As you shift your perspective higher and higher and higher, you have access now to higher quality thoughts, decisions, choices, and actions. What you want to do is realize that you are completely supported and guided in every moment. You found this information. We're here for you, just as your inner self is, and your guides and supporters are, and source is. In fact, the entire universe is here for you, serving you in every moment through this wonderful law, the law of attraction. And with that, we'd like to talk to you about anything you'd like to talk about. Who'd like to start?